It is time once again for the Patreon Q&A.
Is that the thing where people ask us questions and then we answer those questions?
That is in fact what that is.
All right.
But only if you have subscribed to the Patreon at Buddy Chicken tier or higher. If you subscribe to the Patreon at Buddy Chicken tier or higher,
You are now entering the Patreon Q&A.
was playing Gauntlet, sorry.
Were you? Like, which version?
The one on the N64.
You have an N64, that's right.
I have two N64s.
Why do you have two? Is one not... Do you have a Japanese version?
One is an actual N64 and the other one is an analog 3D.
Okay, it's like it's an emulating kind of...
Yeah, it's a modern N64 basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you have two though? Why did one suffice?
Because they were doing like a pre-order for the analog 3D, and I really like how they make stuff, and I thought it was really cool. And because it's just the analog 3D is just HDMI output, so I don't have to buy a weird HDMI adapter for the N64. I mean, I have one, but I don't have to run an adapter to it, and then also wireless controllers work with it. So it's basically an N64, but it's just like it works with modern stuff. This doesn't need to stay in the beginning of the video.
No, it's very interesting. I like it. I guess I'm kind of out of the loop, which is kind of surprising.
Well, I mean, it's really cool, and I'm glad that I got it, but also it does a really weird thing when it turns on, where every single time it turns on, the screen, like, there's some type of weird input error that's happening, so the screen, like, moves backward and forward at like a very specific frame rate, and I have to turn it on and then turn it off and then turn it on again, and then that doesn't happen anymore. And it does it consistently every time I turn it on the first time. It's really weird.
That is odd. Yeah.
And then also I pre-ordered it, and then and because it's analog, I didn't know this when I had pre-ordered it, but when I pre-ordered it, it was like, all right, it's gonna be shipping in February, and then February comes and it's like, okay, well, we're having some minor problems, so it'll ship in March. It's gonna ship in March, and then March comes and it still hasn't shipped.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so we're almost done. We're almost finished with it, and then like literally half a year later, it shipped, and then it took forever to get to my house, and it was just like
a little annoying. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah,
Were you playing Gauntlet by yourself? That's a multiplayer game.
No, I was playing it with my wife.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I had great memories playing that game with my brothers when I was younger.
Also, there's like this kind of weird thing, because you know how Gauntlet is supposed to use a memory card that plugs into the controller.
Yes.
For the N64. So you can save the game onto the analog 3D itself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you save the game onto the analog 3D, you have to quit the game in a specific way, because otherwise it doesn't actually save onto the analog 3D.
Very odd.
Yeah, it's weird. I like the analog 3D, but it definitely has issues.
I see.
It's not perfect. But I mean, then again, neither is the actual N64 I have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It does actually run Resident Evil 2, though, which is kind of surprising. Like, I didn't think it was going to. I know I've talked about this before, but like Resident Evil 2 is kind of like baked into it has to run on an N64. But it actually works just fine on the analog 3D.
All right.
I didn't think it was gonna. Well, okay. I hoped it was going to.
It was a miracle they got that thing on the N64 at all.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, moving on. First question. The first question is from RB Strongarm. What was it that got you into Fallout?
The first Fallout game I played was Fallout 3.
Mm-hmm. As with many people.
And it was because I watched one of my roommates was playing it when I was in college.
I remember you talking about this, how you saw them playing the Starship DLC.
Yeah, the Mothership Zeta, or Mothership, whatever that.
Yeah, Mothership Zeta, I think
is that
it is.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw them playing it, and I was like, that looks kind of cool. And then they were doing like they were using VATS to shoot at stuff, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then I played that for a little bit, and I thought it was kind of fun. And then Fallout New Vegas came out, and I was like, oh, I actually really like this. I like Fallout New Vegas a lot.
Oh, yeah. And I've talked about it before. I picked up Fallout 3 on a whim because I looked at the cover, and I thought, oh, it looks good. It's the third game in the series, so the series must be strong. I played it, didn't really understand how it was played, gave up on it about an hour in, didn't touch it again for 2 years. Went back to it on a whim, and something just clicked with me, and I really gelled with Fallout 3. And then New Vegas came out, and that was even better.
If only we had known how bad Fallout 3 was at the time.
I can look back on some games like Fallout 3 and Final Fantasy VIII and talk about their design flaws, but when I was younger, I didn't know about those flaws, so I was able to enjoy them properly. So that's how we got into Fallout.
Alex Peterson asks, hello, Zach and Mike. I have been a fan for many years since the early episodes of Fallout New Vegas. Thank you for watching.
Much appreciated.
My question is for Zach. Have you watched the EXP YouTube channel with the Royal Armory Museum Keeper? Do you have any opinions about his takes on the weapons he has shown? Yeah, I have watched those. It's Jonathan Ferguson of the Royal Armories. I think they're a really, I think he is actually a really good resource for learning stuff about firearms. He definitely knows a lot more than I do. He and Ian from Forgotten Weapons are both really good resources to learn from about that kind of stuff. I guess I don't have any opinions about his takes on weapons, just because...
You're trying to start some trouble?
He knows more than I do. He's written multiple books. I'm just a schmuck who makes fart jokes on the internet and knows some stuff about guns. So
that's not how you go viral. Come on, let's cause some internet drama.
No, I refuse.
No, I refuse to be part of that ecosystem.
You can't make me. I refuse to be part of the GunTuber drama.
Florpnorp asks, have you guys been keeping up with the Fallout show? I remember that Zach didn't care for it, and it's fair to say I agree with him. To me, the Fallout show has been detrimental to the lore.
I have not been keeping up with it.
We both watched the first season, and neither of us have watched the second season. I'm going to eventually. I'm going to get around to it eventually. I just haven't yet.
I have no plans to watch the second season.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first season. Zach didn't, so that's kind of our opinion on it at the moment.
I have better things to do, like nap.
Pick lint out of my belly button.
Fold socks. I haven't watched it. Apparently, people were really mad about the ending of season 2.
I haven't actually watched the season 2 yet, but I had.
Well, okay, so I don't know if they were mad about the ending or if they were mad about the countdown on the website. I'm not sure which one it was, because the only discourse I saw about it was on Twitter, and that's a cesspool in and of itself.
Right.
So
I think I did hear a little bit about there was some kind of countdown at the very end, and it counted down to.
Yeah, there was a countdown. There was a countdown on their website.
To a mobile game or something.
There was a countdown on the website that people were convinced was going to be Fallout New Vegas remaster / Fallout 3 remaster. Mm-hmm. And then when the countdown ended, it was just, you can tour the Lucky 38 from the Fallout TV show.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. It was just like an online virtual tour.
I see.
And so people were real mad.
Fallout fans being angry, that's impossible.
From what I have seen and heard, yeah, they don't really seem to give a shit about the lore of the Fallout games. So
I think they do their best, to give them some credit. I think they try to respect the lore, but they are also meddling with it, as if it's not their intellectual property.
I see a lot. You see this happen over and over again with video game or with movies or TV shows based on video games, where it's like the director is, for some reason, really proud of the fact that he has not played the video game and has no intention of playing the video game. I can't remember if they did or didn't do that for this one, but I feel like I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on it. You do see that happen a lot. I don't remember if they did that for this one or not. The thing that always frustrates me about movies or TV shows based on video games is that they're like, oh, we're going to bring it to a new audience that isn't familiar with it. And it's like, bro, the people that are going to watch this are people that are fans of the video game.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a really old, do you remember Rage Face comics?
Yeah, I remember.
It was like one of those type of things where it's like, coming soon, Red, the movie based on the hit video game Red. And it's like, oh my god, I can't wait to go see Red, the movie. And then he goes and sees Red, the movie, and it's just blue. And it's like they're like interviewing the director, and the director's like, yeah, I've never seen Red, and I actually fucking hate Red, so, this is going to be a really good movie.
I try not to take it too seriously. In my mind, the Fallout TV show is basically just like, it's fan material. You don't take it too seriously. Does it mess with the lore? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. As long as you don't take it too seriously, it's not a problem. I'm
the cynical asshole, and I think the only purpose of the Fallout TV show is to get you to buy Fallout 76, so. And I think Todd Howard actually hates Fallout New Vegas.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
I think Todd Howard actually hates Fallout New Vegas.
Well, he's at least respectful.
And he just refuses to do anything with it because it did so much better than his precious Fallout 3.
Mm-hmm. I would prefer if he didn't touch Fallout New Vegas. Bethesda can do whatever they want on the East Coast. Just leave my precious West Coast alone. That's why I'm a little apprehensive about the Fallout TV show Season 2 going into Fallout New Vegas, because part of me, the fun of Fallout New Vegas is people talking about which ending is the best, which faction is the best to side with, and the whole meta discussion around that. I enjoy that. People talking about which would be the preferable, which one they think would have a chance of winning, which ones they think would fall apart. So I don't actually want to see like anything being confirmed, because like that's part of the fun.
Oh, you're gonna hate season 2 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna hate season 2 then.
I would if I took it seriously, but as long as I don't treat it seriously, I'm fine.
Zach Dammit says, "What is your favorite quality about each other?" Mike is an insanely hard worker, and I actually really admire how quickly he can get videos edited.
Well, thank you.
It's impressive.
To pick one quality.
And also slightly concerning.
Yeah. A singular favorite quality, though. I don't know. I think you are a high quality person, so it's hard for me to pick just one trait. I guess maybe your curiosity. I'm a big fan of your curiosity. How you find something to think about. You ask questions, then you start digging into it, and you dig into it very voraciously. Just like with books, just like with technology, you just want to learn more. And I think that's quite admirable.
That's the ADHD hyperfocus, baby! Whoa! It's super interesting, right up until it's not interesting anymore, and then I throw it away and find something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. I don't throw it away. Sometimes I do.
That is a funny guy, but I think everyone would agree with me on that. Ryan Henderson asks, do you guys have a favorite or memorable extra mode from the Resident Evil games, like Ethan Must Die, Mercenaries mode, or Tofu mode?
Resident Evil 2 on the N64 had a randomizer all the way back in 1999, which is like insane.
That is kind of crazy. I didn't know about that. And that's N64 exclusive, isn't it?
I've brought this up multiple times, but Resident Evil 2 for the N64 is like, in my opinion, the most insane video game that has ever been released. Just the fact that it's 1, on the N64, 2, that it actually fucking runs, and 3, that it had all of this extra stuff in it. They added extra files that you could find in the game that you can read that aren't in any other version. There's a randomizer mode, which, granted, it only randomizes items. I don't think it randomizes any of the enemies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can't remember. It's been a bit since I played the randomizer on there.
Well, Resident Evil games from back in that era, it was already pretty easy to soft lock yourself. God forbid you walk into a hallway with 8 lickers or something.
I think it randomizes the items, but it doesn't randomize any of the key items, so you can still find those. It just makes it so that you might not find any handgun ammo or something.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy that they were doing randomizers before that was even a thing. So I think that's really cool. And then I like the Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries mode. The Resident Evil 4 Remake Mercenaries mode is really, really cool.
Oh, okay.
I actually really like that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed the original Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries mode to an extent, but I didn't really get into the Mercenaries mode until Resident Evil 5. I went really hardcore with the Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries mode, going co-op with that, just spending hours and hours doing that over and over again.
I don't really care for the Mercenaries mode in the original Resident Evil 4. The Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries mode, I think, is really good, but the 4 Remake Mercenaries mode is also good, because that takes a lot of stuff from the Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries mode. You have the advantage of however many, 20 years of Mercenaries mode improvements. Yeah, you have a lot of improvements that you can go on from that, so.
They built upon the strong foundation of Resident Evil 6's Mercenaries mode.
Yeah. Tofu mode is fun.
What is tofu?
You play as a block of tofu.
Yeah, but what's the additional challenge there?
You just play as a block of tofu. I think you can't heal. And then I know in the Resident Evil 2 remake, the tofu mode that's in there, whenever you take damage, chunks of tofu start missing. Because like the zombies are taking bites out of you. That's like the joke.
So you see permanent damage on your tofu. Yeah. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, a lot of the other extra missions are fun. Some of them are like almost too difficult. But that's because I'm kind of a fucking casual gamer, so whatever.
Yeah. Not gonna Iron Man it now.
I came up with a speed run for the Resident Evil 3 remake. That is, it's my specific speed run. It's not official by any means. I haven't created a category for it, but it's a speed run where you're only allowed to use weapons in the Resident Evil 3 remake that you see characters using cutscenes.
Oh.
Which means that Jill can only use the handgun, and she can only use the grenade launcher. And she can only use the grenade launcher at one specific part, because she uses the grenade launcher in the cutscene when you are fighting doggo nemesis. And because you see her use it in that cutscene.
Yeah.
So it's okay to use the grenade launcher there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just the weird speed run that I came up with. So that's, I guess, kind of a fun mode, but it's not official.
Yeah. And I've done a knife-only run of the original Resident Evil 4, but it's just an additional challenge.
Oh, there's in the Resident Evil 1 remake, there's the one tough zombie extra mode, which is funny in concept, but it sucks to play.
Oh, when you're constantly being chased by an unkillable zombie?
Yeah, and if he touches you, he explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny in concept, but it's not funny to play.
Yeah.
It's kind of miserable to play that one.
Favorite concept, but not favorite execution.
The B-Star says, "Hey, Mike and Zach, first-time Patreon member. Thank you very much for joining the Patreon. What are y'all's thoughts on what has been shown of Resident Evil 9?
I haven't paid any attention to it. I don't know any of the promotional material.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited about the new Resident Evil game.
I know Leon is involved. That's kind of all I know.
I know Leon is involved. I think it's cool that Leon is back. I think the, grizzled older Leon, because he's, in his 50s now. I think he's, 49 or 50.
Now it's his second day on the job.
I think it's cool that it's the, older grizzled Leon. I think it's really cool it's the same voice actor from the 2 remake and the 4 remake, and this is the same voice actor for Leon, which is neat. I like that.
I'm glad they're maintaining some consistency. It was always annoying when Resident Evil would just pick random people to do voices for each iteration of the game.
Yep. On the same token, I kind of wish it wasn't Leon. I kind of wish it was somebody else. But also they have Grace is the new playable character. I think it's neat that you can just switch between first and third person perspective whenever you want, because I will admit, as much as I don't like Resident Evil being in first person, it is actually scarier in first person. So I think it's cool that you can switch between the two. You
can switch between it like it's Fallout 3, huh?
Yeah, you can switch between perspectives. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the kind of thing where you can only do it from the main menu, or if you can just kind of do it on the fly. I don't like that Leon has a hatchet that has durability.
More weapon durability, huh?
I don't like weapon durability. And so they had weapon durability in Resident Evil 4 remake.
Okay.
For the knife. And you would fix it when you got to the merchant. And then you also found knives when you were out playing the game, which to me was kind of all right, if you're just going to throw a bunch of extra knives at me, then why didn't you just make the knife not have any durability?
Yeah.
Or make it so that you can block one chainsaw with it, and then the knife is broken, and now you can't block any more chainsaws. Make it your one cheat death or something.
Yeah.
But now they're giving Leon a hatchet, and then they also give him a sharpening stone. So they just added the Monster Hunter World weapon sharpening mechanic, and I was just kind of all right.
All right, we'll have to see how that plays.
Why?
Maybe it's done well.
I will freely admit, at one of these showcases they did of Resident Evil 9, I was not super excited. The thing I had posted, I was quite a bit salty. I was quite a bit salty when I posted this. But man, the Resident Evil 9 showcase did not inspire confidence. And then Monster Hunter World weapon sharpening. Remember chainsaws from Resident Evil 4? Item crafting. Remember Baby from Resident Evil 8? Porsche. Hamilton watches. Porsche. Spoils the entire plot twist at 11 minutes and 40 seconds.
Was there a lot of Porsche?
Yeah, they made a big deal. During one of the showcases, they literally went on for about 4 minutes about how Leon's car was a Porsche and how they had worked with Porsche to model the car that Leon was driving. And then also Hamilton watches. Look, Leon's wearing a watch made by Hamilton watches. Also, Grace is wearing a watch made by Hamilton watches. And you can buy both of those watches.
Why is Porsche doing... Because they also did promotional stuff in Overwatch recently. Why is Porsche advertising in video games so much? It's strange.
I mean, it's the largest entertainment industry in the world. That's why they're advertising.
Well, I guess that makes sense when you put it like that.
Yeah. So, cautiously optimistic about Resident Evil 9, but yet, there was a whole scene in one of the showcases that was okay, this is just the baby scene from Resident Evil Village. We're doing that again.
All right.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's good.
I want it to be good. I really do. I really do want it to be good. I hope that all that stuff doesn't really matter, and when I play the game, it's actually fun. But it does really seem like the parts where you're playing as Grace are going to be more survival horror, and the parts where you're playing as Leon are going to be more like Resident Evil 4 action adventure where you're like roundhouse kicking zombies and their heads are exploding and you're suplexing zombies. Yeah, I hope Resident Evil 9 is good. I hope it's enjoyable. Somebody who was working on Resident Evil 9 must have watched Dawn of the Living Dead because there's zombies that like remember something about being human. So there's like one that's a maid that's like has to clean all the mirrors, and then there's another one that's like obsessed with making sure the lights are turned off. Which I don't like that. That's stupid.
Well, I guess they gotta inject a bit of variety. It can't just be zombies again, or maybe it could.
It just could be zombies again, though. I just think that's kind of silly, personally, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah. We'll reserve our harshest judgments for when it actually comes out.
Yeah,
we can judge it on its merits.
Yeah.
The Knight 18 asks, "Hello, gentlemen. I was curious if either of you have ever thought about playing Call of Duty Zombies mode on the channel at all. I have been enjoying it lately myself. Love the content and keep up the amazing work."
Thank you very much, The Knight 18.
Thank you for the kind words.
I haven't thought of playing it on the channel. I remember playing Call of Duty Zombies back in like the Xbox 360 days, and it was fun, but I haven't played it since then.
I know I've played a Call of Duty game in the past, but I don't remember much. I don't typically play those games.
Yeah, I know I played Call of Duty Zombies years ago, but I haven't really played any except for the first one. So,
what is Call of Duty Zombies? Is I have no idea.
It started out as its own little like mini game mode on Call of Duty Black Ops, and it was basically like a horde survival mini game where you were in a building and zombies would come to you in waves, and you kill the zombies, and then you get points by killing the zombies, whether you get headshots or whatever.
Okay.
And then you use the points to buy new weapons and buy things to barricade windows.
That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, it was fun, and then it turned into it's like almost its own franchise at this point. The like people straight up, some of the last Call of Duty games only bought to play the zombies mode. So it turned into its own thing, and it has its own storyline that is I'm sure some people can follow. I looked into it at one point and was like, I don't need to read all this.
No, it doesn't seem like you need to know all the Call of Duty Zombies lore to enjoy the mode.
I don't know, maybe you do.
Maybe that's how you get peak enjoyment out of it. Well, maybe I'll check it out later.
Well, if you want to check it out, it means you're going to have to install one of the Call of Duty games that's like 800 gigabytes. So
that's right. They're not optimized.
Starlight says, "What thing are each of you looking forward to the most right now?"
High on Life 2 came out this week. I got to get around to playing that. I really enjoyed the first High on Life game. I want to make sure that I give the sequel enough time. The game where we got the talking guns, the first person shooter. It was fun. I liked it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I liked it.
I said, oh.
You
I
groaned.
didn't say anything.
You groaned.
I didn't say anything.
Also, Slay the Spire 2 should be coming out sometime this year as well. Only in beta, but, I put a lot of hours into that.
I ordered an XF50 receiver, which is basically just a different PS90 receiver. So now I'll have 1.5 PS90s.
Looking forward to a gun part.
Yeah, I'll have 1.5 P90s. One of them will be just like the. All right, so I have a PS90, the semi-auto version of the P90. I love that gun. It's really cool and fun. I like shooting it, and I have the original optic for it. And the problem with the original optic is that it's really fun to use on the range, but then actually trying to use it for anything in a serious capacity, you realize that optic is dog shit. It's not a great optic. I don't like using it. And the other problem is if you want to put any other kind of optic on the PS90 receiver, it's just this weird hodgepodge of trying to slap stuff together, and it doesn't work great. So I ordered the XF50 receiver, which is basically, it's the entire top of the receiver is just chopped down and replaced with a rail. So I'll have the normal P90 that is like, I'm just going to keep it like the original P90, and it'll be the original one, and it'll look really cool. And then I'll have the XF50, which is the super cool guy one that I can put optics and lasers and flashlights on. So, and then if I want to swap them out, I literally just have to push a button and take the receiver off and put the new receiver onto it.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to getting that built. I'm looking forward to getting my videos edited because it takes me forever. I'm looking forward to going home and hugging my wife.
Oh, that's nice. Are you looking forward to Requiem?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Resident Evil. That'll be fun.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection is coming out later this year.
Oh, yeah, that'll be great.
We can finally play Metal Gear Solid 4!
You can finally play Metal Gear Solid 4 not on a PS3.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be great. That's going to be super fun. Also, Ghost Babel is coming with it, which is weird.
Yeah.
They're including Ghost Babel.
The Game Boy Color Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, so you can play that one. It's got one of the weirdest Metal Gears ever called Metal Gear Gander.
Oh, yeah, it's been so long since I played that Game Boy Color game.
Yeah. And you'll be able to play Metal Gear Peace Walker.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to Peace Walker because I haven't played that one. And that reminds me, I got to get around to playing Metal Gear Solid 5 because I also have not played that one.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 is really fucking good.
Zachary Bartolo asks, "Hey Zach, your Vampire Mansion videos are some of my favorites. If you were asked to come up with a similar game, what monster and what setting would you choose? Sky's the limit."
I'm glad that you like my Vampire Mansion videos.
They are fun.
Okay, so like a similar game to Vampire Mansion, but you're getting chased by a werewolf, and then you can use a spray bottle to scare her off. So you're doing dog training, like scare her away. Wolfmate doesn't count. I know that. I know right now you're thinking, yeah, but what about Wolfmate? Wolfmate doesn't count. She just has wolf ears. She's not a werewolf. She just has wolf ears, and I'll see you hide in lockers. Not the same thing. This is like you're running around the woods getting chased by a werewolf or something. I don't know. It's hard to improve on perfection. And Vampire Mansion is basically perfect. So, what if it was like Luigi's Mansion, only instead of a vacuum cleaner backpack, you just have like a big titty ghost
on your back?
You just have a big titty ghost that's telling you how to do stuff. That would be kind of fun.
New mod idea for Luigi's Mansion.
Now I'm just thinking of Lady D from Resident Evil Village, but that's basically just Vampire Mansion, only with more blood.
Big budget Vampire Mansion.
Yeah, that's just AAA Vampire Mansion. Actually, that's just double D Vampire Mansion.
There you go. That's your choice. You take the section from Resident Evil 7 with Lady Dimitrescu and stretch it out to be an entire game, and there you go. That's your choice.
It's just an entire game, and then at the end of the game, it's instead of her turning into a horrible monster and then a sexy crystal statue, it's just like, all right, well, that was a really good workout. I'll see you next week. And it's like, okay, cool. I don't know why I agree to keep getting chased around by these giant titties. And then it's like, oh wait, she gives me a fuck ton of money and also big boobies. So, all right, never mind. I'll be back next week.
I'll see you next week. We can do this all again. You won't be able to kill my daughters because you already killed all 3 of them. But I'll find someone else for you to kill.
No, they're paid actors. It's actually just a prop knife. It's actually just a prop knife that you're stabbing them with, and they go, oh no, and then die. Die, quote unquote. Die. You would think that I would like Wolfmate, but like I don't know. I don't think Wolfmate is as good as some of Itiru's other games.
Okay, so it's done by the same developer.
It's the same, yeah. Wolfmate's like the same developer. It's just I don't know. I wasn't really into it. That's why I wasn't really feeling it.
Fair enough.
Dalek Dan asks, "Hey Zach and Mike, I was wondering if you guys go to conventions or do any cosplay, and if not, what would be your dream character to cosplay? I operate a 60s era Dalek at conventions."
Hence the name, Dalek Dan, I see. Recently I went to a Renaissance festival dressed as a pirate. That was kind of fun.
Neat.
Got to see everyone else dressed in their costumes. It was a great time.
I've gone to a few conventions, but not in a very long time. I don't do cosplay, like, at all. I guess if I was going to, I want Boba Fett armor.
Yeah?
I want Boba Fett's armor, but like also I want it to be fully ballistic. I just want science fiction armor. I don't want actual functional science fiction armor. I want the jetpack. I want the riot security suit from Dead Space 2.
Oh,
I want that. I want that. But I want it to actually be functional. So I guess I want a spacesuit.
Yeah.
That would also be cool if I could just have like an Apollo era spacesuit, but also those things are basically impossible to wear while you're like not on the moon. You kind of need to be in zero gravity to wear those. They're not easy to wear. They weigh a lot apparently. So that would be cool though to have like a replica of a spacesuit. That would be neat. But yeah, I do cosplay or really go to conventions at all.
If you make a Gundam suit for me, I'll walk around in that happily, sure. Just a lot of effort to make something like that. A lot of respect to the people that craft their own giant mech suits and pilot those around. I don't care that they're made out of largely cardboard. It's still impressive.
It's neat.
Sergeant Plasma says, I remember in one of the older videos, you said you were reading the Andromeda Strain. I bought that book and I really like it, so thank you for enlightening me.
You're welcome.
What other books would you suggest?
If you liked reading Michael Crichton, then Jurassic Park is a really good book.
The book, it's different enough from the movie that you'd be able to enjoy it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, also, if you haven't seen the movie,
yeah,
you could read it. But yeah, I think the Jurassic Park book is really good. Some of my other favorite books, I really like Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. I think that one's probably one of my favorite books. Sherlock Holmes novels are really good, and also they're in public domain, so you can get them for free.
Oh, nice.
And then if you're going to read Sherlock Holmes novels and you haven't read them before, I would start with Study in Scarlet. That's the first one. That's the first Sherlock Holmes novel.
Right.
And it's a decent length. So those are both really good. If you like reading documentary books, Command and Control, Nuclear Weapons, The Damascus Accident, and The Illusion of Safety is one of my all-time favorite books. I really like that book. So that's another really good one. KF Wong says, have you ever considered a road trip vlog style video, like a camping trip or traveling overseas together?
That could be fun.
I haven't considered that, no.
I tried doing a bit of a recording when we went to the gun shooting range recently, but I didn't actually make a video out of it. The footage wasn't all that great. But now we don't really have any plans for it. We haven't really scheduled anything. It could be fun, though. It could be a fun idea.
Possibly. I don't know if I would... I don't want to appear on video.
That's fine. You can be the one holding the camera.
I don't know.
I don't mind appearing on video. It's been a while since I've been camping, though.
Every time I go camping, I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to go camping. I'm going to love camping. And then I go camping and I'm like, I don't like camping. Like, it happens over and over and over again. I keep getting different stuff. So there's like, okay, well, this will make it so that I can actually sleep and my back or my spine doesn't try to explode. And then I wake up and my spine has exploded. And I'm like, I don't like camping.
I like it inside my house where there's no bugs and there's indoor plumbing and there's a medicine cabinet for ibuprofen when I have a sore back.
I like the idea of camping.
I like the nostalgic fondness I get thinking back to fun camping trips I went on. Like when there was this big tent that could seat 12 people in there and just kind of lying down in your sleeping bag and having a big old Boy Scout party. It's a lot of fun. Just going exploring the woods, doing scavenger hunts, looking for old license plates or curious looking insects.
Why would there be an old license plate in the woods?
I don't know, but you know, whenever you do I don't know if you ever had this, but I went on a lot of Boy Scout trips, the cadets back then, and there was always a list of things you could find for the scavenger hunts. I feel like it's kind of just an excuse to get you to pick up garbage in the forest, just kind of beautify the area. But
probably
old license plate was always on there. You'd hardly ever find them because what are the odds someone threw out a license plate? Just kind of threw it out there, but. If you find one, then it's like 60 points, so like keep an eye out.
Yay!
Definitely don't sabotage someone else's vehicle by prying it off.
Or do.
Pepperoni Roni says, what gaming consoles have you had over the years and which one was your favorite? My personal favorite was the N64.
I had the Sega Genesis, I had a Super Nintendo, I had a Nintendo 64.
Yep.
GameCube. And then I had a PlayStation 1, I had a PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. What other Nintendo? I remember when I was in the Army, I bought a Wii, and I had multiple like handheld gaming consoles.
Yeah.
I had an Xbox 360. I never owned an Xbox. What was my favorite one? I think my favorite one was probably the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
I think the PlayStation 2 was probably my favorite one just because for the longest time, that was my entire entertainment system because I could play CDs on it, I could play DVDs on it, I could play games on it. I could play PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 games.
Oh, yeah. It's really hard to beat the PlayStation 2.
And then it didn't have like a weird menu that you had to go through
to
do stuff. It was just you put the game in and turned it on and then you played the game. And yeah, you had to have different memory cards. Did you have to have different memory cards for PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games?
I think you did.
I think you actually had to use PS1 memory cards for PS1 games.
I think they had to be formatted differently so you couldn't save both kinds of games in the same
But
card.
then the solution was you have a PlayStation 2 memory card and a PlayStation 1 memory card plugged in, and then there you go.
I don't remember, it's been so long. But yeah, the PlayStation 2 was great.
Because then I could play Resident Evil 2, and I could play Resident Evil 3, and I could play Resident Evil 4. And I couldn't play the GameCube remake of Resident Evil, but I had a GameCube, so I could play it on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation 2 was probably my favorite one. That had like the most games that I remember really, really liking.
Yeah, so many game series that I enjoyed too. Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy.
Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3.
Guitar Man, Resident Evil 4.
Eco.
Shadow of the Colossus.
PS2 was my favorite.
Yeah, N64 might be a close second for me because even though there weren't nearly as many games, that was the first console I had, and I had a lot of fun playing some of those games. But PlayStation 2 blows it out of the water. Second part of that question, also, have you ever had any pets that were different from the norm, like a sheep, octopus, or maybe a guinea pig?
Not really. My sisters had pet rats at one point, and rats actually make very good pets.
Yeah, even if they're not long-lived, they can be fun from what I've heard.
They're very good. They're very smart. They're not like, if you get like a hamster or a gerbil as a pet, like if you get your kid a hamster or a gerbil as a pet, they're not very smart.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you try to pick it up and play with it, it might think that you're gonna attack it, so it just tries to bite you.
Yeah.
Which, like, credit where it's due, it's a little tiny thing that is something 1,000 times its size is trying to pick it up, and instead of just going and dying, it's like, fuck you, I'll fight you. Which, you know what, I respect it.
Yeah.
But rats are just like, yay, the human is here to play with me. So I think rats actually make very good little pets, and I guess they're kind of outside the norm. People think of rats as like gross and disgusting,
Yeah,
but
think
like
of them
they're
as
very
pests.
clean.
Yeah.
Actually, they're very clean. They're very smart. They make good little pets.
They're probably cleaner than hamsters. I remember the school hamsters. You like you'd grab the hamster and you play with it. Yay! Look, I got a hamster. Oh, it pooped in my hand again. Yay!
Yay! Oh, it peed all over. Yay! Yeah, rats are a lot. I think rats actually make good pets. I guess I don't really want to have anything that's like unusual as a pet. I think it would be neat if like there were birds that were outside that just kept coming back. Like the same birds just keep coming back to where I like feed them outside, which that's as easy as I just feed birds that are out there. That would be cool. But I don't want to keep a bird inside the house because they're kind of noisy and they're kind of smelly, and I want them to be able to fly around and do what they want.
Yeah.
I want them to be free.
Yeah. Haven't had any pets outside the norm unless you're counting like digital pets like Tamagotchis.
I mean, I would argue that's normal.
Yeah.
Or that was the
norm in the 90s, yeah. Walter Norton asks, any favorite Digimon? I assume it's the Gun Dragon.
I do not know any Digimon whatsoever.
You assume that we know Digimon.
I don't know any Digimon. I did look up what the Gun Dragon is, and it's I think it's Gundramon is the name, and I think it's cursed as fuck.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely cursed.
My favorite Digimon is like the only Digimon I know because I watched like 3 episodes of the original anime series. So it's the orange tiny T-Rex that becomes a bigger orange T-Rex. I don't even know its name. I never watched Digimon.
I didn't watch Digimon. I have seen exactly 2 minutes of one Digimon episode. And I don't remember what the context of this was, but apparently there was a ghost and they were trying to banish the ghost. So the one girl who's wearing a helmet for some reason takes her helmet off, and then they drum on the helmet and say, Digimon, lose your power, and then the Digimon disappears. That's literally all I remember of it. But yeah, I never watched Digimon. I don't know any of them.
I never watched
I don't
the show.
have a favorite.
The theme song is still stuck in my head, even though I never watched any of the episodes. It's very earworm of a theme song. I remember there was like a big thing in the TV show, like there's the mythical 8th Digimon, and it turned out to be the cat Gatomon. That's all I remember from the series.
Why were there only 8 Digimon? Pokemon's got 150.
There were only 7 Digimon, but then there was an 8th Digimon.
Did they get bored and decide that they weren't going to actually make any more? They know the Pokemon was out at the same time.
Yeah.
They knew Pokemon had 150 of the fuckers. Why wouldn't they make more than 7?
I think there were 7 Digimon champions, actually. There were more Digimon, but there were like 7.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Again, didn't watch the show.
I never watched it.
Don't
I'm
quiz
sorry.
me on Digimon lore. I can't answer.
Hello, Zach and Mike. A large amount of time and energy on the internet has been spent on debating which is better on a peanut butter and jelly, strawberry jam or grape jelly. I believe whatever works for you is best. To that end, what is or was your favorite fruit, jam, or jelly to put on a nut butter sandwich?
What a dramatic question.
Grape jam.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just grape jam. I don't like jelly. Jelly is clumpy. Jelly like clumps.
Mm-hmm.
Jam spreads smoothly. So grape jam.
Gotcha. My favorite thing to put on a peanut butter sandwich is more peanut butter. I don't like jams. I don't like jellies. I do like peanut butter, though, so give me some melty peanut butter on top of that peanut butter sandwich.
You should try putting like a thin layer of jam.
What's that KFC sandwich, the Double Down, which is like a sandwich of... It's a slice of bread with two sandwiches of chicken.
What does that have to do with putting jam on
Yeah,
stuff?
that's my favorite peanut butter sandwich is the Double Down.
There's no peanut butter on it.
There's peanut butter on the top and peanut butter on the bottom of the bread. And you hold it and your hand gets all sticky. And then you get to lick your hands afterward.
See, what you should do is just get one piece of bread, right? You get a piece of bread, you put peanut butter on it, and then you put that on another piece of bread. So it's like you're doing a normal sandwich, but then put more peanut butter on the other side of the bread, and then put another piece of bread on top of that. So you have bread, peanut butter, bread, peanut butter, bread.
I've done that. I've done that.
It's like making the toast sandwich that I made at one, or that I used to make occasionally.
Yeah.
You know what toast sandwich is?
Yeah.
You do basically the same thing, only you put butter on both sides of a piece of toast, and you put that in between two slices of bread.
I've never done that before.
And I told one of my friends about that, and he was like, that's just called being poor.
You know, now that you mentioned it, I kind of want to have that, but you're right. It's just eating half a loaf of bread.
Yeah, you're just eating 3 slices of bread with butter on it. And then if you really want to go crazy, you put some cinnamon on there. That's like the cheese sandwich in the UK, which is just a slice of cheese in between two slices of bread.
Oh, at least we toast it. We use the oven. You know,
I think they toast it.
grilled cheese sandwiches.
I think they toast it. It's just colloquially known as like the cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
So yeah, to answer your question, it's just I like grape jam. I don't really like other jams. Strawberry jam is okay, but I like grape jam on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, a cheese sandwich is just a fucking grilled cheese. That's what it is. Oh, in the UK, I'm sorry, it's a cheese toasty in the UK.
Okay.
Or a cheese joffle in Australia.
Fancy.
Australia, why do you got the weirdest names for things? Why do you call McDonald's Maccas?
I can see the colloquialism there.
Only tangentially related to that one. What's what crunchy peanut butter, yes or no?
I've never been a fan of a crunchy peanut butter myself.
I like crunchy peanut butter occasionally, but it's the way the breakdown goes is that smooth peanut butter is for sandwiches and on like toast, and then you put jam on top of the smooth peanut butter. Crunchy peanut butter is I want a snack, but I don't want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So then it's just a slice of bread with crunchy peanut butter on top of it. Because then it has more substance to it.
I think even myself, I like to toast a slice of bread and smear it with peanut butter. Even if it's not a peanut butter sandwich, it's just toast with peanut butter on it. But that's tasty to me.
Yeah, but like sometimes it's like, okay, I want to do something a little different. So I get crunchy peanut butter and I put like a smaller jar of crunchy peanut butter. And then I've never bought like you know how they have like the giant tub of peanut. Yeah. I've never bought the giant tub of crunchy peanut butter. I've only ever bought crunchy peanut butter in these smaller jars, and then I put it on stuff. Like if you're gonna make ants on a log, crunchy peanut butter is really good for that.
Okay. It's peanut butter on like a pretzel?
No, ants on a log is like you take a piece of celery and you put peanut butter on top of it, and you put some raisins on top of the peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, that's ants on a log. That's from when I was a little kid.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that when you were a kid?
I mean, yeah, it was good. Oh, you know what's really good? You get a green apple, and you slice the green apple up, and then you get a little, you get some peanut butter, and then you basically just like spread the peanut butter on the green apple.
It's not for me, but I'm glad people like it.
It's really tasty.
It's probably healthier for you than what I do.
I like it.
Well, thank you all for joining us on this Q&A that ended yet again with us talking about food.
Thank you once again, and thank you to our Buddy Chicken tier or higher members. And if you would like to ask us questions, all you have to do is join at Buddy Chicken tier or higher, and then you can ask us one question per month. You don't get to ask multiple questions. It's just one.
I know people in this Q&A have asked occasionally more than one question, but you're not allowed to do that. This is a rule we're establishing right now that we'll forget by next month.
I mean, that rule is kind of always in place. It's just,
We never adhere to it.
all you have to do is join at Buddy Chicken tier or higher, and then you can ask us all the questions your heart desires. Like,
What's your favorite superhero?
wouldn't that be who is your favorite superhero?
Not if your favorite superhero is an inanimate object that's been brought back to life. Back to life as if it was cursed. You must live the rest of your life as a lamp.
Is my favorite superhero a lich that they bound their soul to a random object?
It could be. Is your favorite superhero like?
Is my favorite superhero a lich? I don't think so. Do I have a favorite superhero?
We'll learn next month if someone asks that question.
My favorite superhero is Halo. He's a cool guy. He killed the alien and doesn't afraid of nothing.
I also choose that guy's Master Chief.
My favorite superhero is the Punisher because he's just a regular dude who fucking kills people. No, you're not supposed to like Punisher. He's not a good guy. I don't give a shit. He's killing dudes.
My favorite superhero is the Unabomber.
My favorite superhero is Ted Kaczynski.
No! What's your favorite bone in the human body?
I like the bone that's in your ear because it's the tiniest one.
Ah, but there's 3 of them. Which of those 3 bones is your favorite?
Shut up.
The hammer, the anvil, the other one?
What is actually my favorite bone in the entire... Probably the radius because it's rad.
Haha, nice.
Yeah.
And I
Is it the radius? What is it? The radius?
Yeah, the radius on the arm, yeah.
The radius and the ulna. Is
Yeah,
that it?
yeah.
Okay.
And I like the fibia because it fibs. No, wait, that's a tibia.
It's scapula because it's got a fun name. I like the T6 vertebrae because that's the vertebrae in my spine that isn't being a bastard. No, wait, no, is it? I don't remember.
Floating rib number 3.
Oh, the skull is pretty cool.
It is pretty, yeah. They don't put any other bones on flags.
You know what? That's a really good point. Yeah, I'm changing my answer to the skull just because it's fucking cool looking. The nose bone. And then you're like, Zach, the nose doesn't have a bone. And they're like, oh, does it? That was me flicking my nose. That's how loud that shit is.
Yeah.
I tell people it's my egg tooth. Just didn't fall off after I was hatched.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask us questions like, what's your favorite chicken?
Baked.
I meant while they're still alive.
Oh, okay. I don't have a favorite, I guess.
Well, I mean, you got a bunch of options. You've got the Leghorn, the Rhode Island Red, the ISA Brown, Minorca chicken, the Plymouth Rock chicken. That's a very popular choice. The Ancoa chicken, Hamburg chicken, Dominique chicken.
The only reason I know that there are more chicken varieties is because I played Farmville, where they got different kinds of chickens on your
Light Sussex. The Plymouth Rock. I'm actually kind of partial to the Plymouth Rock. I think they're pretty fun. I like them. The Brahma chicken. The Dominique. The Dominique is actually pretty cool looking. Ooh, Wyandotte. Oh, they're very pretty. I like them. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say I like them all. They're all pretty great.
All right. And that's my answer as well.
They're all pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the California Gray is adorable. All right, thanks very much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that's true.
I don't give a shit about Ethan.
Ethan was not...
I'm sorry, I don't give a shit about Ethan. Ethan's boring as shit.
Yeah.
Ethan is so boring.
I think he was designed to be kind of generic and boring.
He's so generic. He's so boring. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care. Resident Evil Village is super fun. I really like playing it, but the part with Lady D should not have been front-loaded, and it should have been substantially longer than it was.
Mm-hmm.
That should have been the part at, like, the end of the game.
Yeah, she was just Act 1.
That she should have been at the end of the game, but no, then they make the fucking factory with Heisenberg go on for like 8.5 goddamn hours. So fucking long. I don't want to hear this dude do his Nicolas Cage impression. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I outside of the...
I'm not saying he's bad. He's actually an amazing voice actor.
Yeah.
And his performance in that game is very memorable.
Sure,
but like, I don't want to play the fucking factory part for it. You're telling me that I could have had Big Titty Vampire, but instead I gotta listen to Ethan Winters I don't want to fucking hear that. Bring back the Big Titty Vampire.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
You got Vampire Mansion for that.
Cautiously optimistic. There.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on Resident Evil 9.
Honestly, like, as much as I enjoyed Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5, I've kind of fallen off the series. Outside of the playthrough that you and I did of 7 and 8 and a little bit of 6, I never felt the need to go back to those later style Resident Evil games.
I was talking with my wife about Resident Evil and what makes a good Resident Evil game. Or like what makes a good, what like the definition of a survival horror game is. And while I was talking about those, I had brought up that I thought Resident Evil 7 is a good game. I think it's a decent survival horror game. I think it's a good survival horror game. But I don't think it's a good Resident Evil game.
It does feel more like a spin-off because it's not the same style as the previous games.
It's not the same style as the previous games, and they, like, really, if you got rid of the mentioning of Umbrella, and the dude at the end of the game is not Chris Redfield. Like, he just isn't. That is not Chris Redfield, and even Capcom is like, that isn't Chris Redfield, because they changed how he looked in the next game. If you made him just some random dude at the end of the game, and then you released it like that, it would be completely separate from Resident Evil. And while we were talking about like the different Resident Evil games and how like the ones that I think are good Resident Evil games are the first Resident Evil, because that was the one that coined the survival horror name. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, the Resident Evil 1 remake. I think those are all I think those ones are the best Resident Evil games. Those ones are really, really good. Resident Evil 4 starts out as a survival horror game, but then it kind of just turns into like a weird action adventure game.
Yeah.
Because it starts out with like limited ammo and exploration. What I had basically settled on as a definition of what a survival horror game is limited items, so limited ammunition, limited healing items. You're doing exploration, and you're trapped in a claustrophobic environment with enemies, and you have to figure out how to survive with the limited resources that you're given.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say limited resources is a requirement, but it does feed into what I think is a requirement, which is disempowerment. If you can't plow through everything, if you have to be very methodical about things.
Yeah. Disempowerment, loss of control for the player character. You can't feel like you're the most powerful thing ever. And I think Resident Evil 4 it starts with that. But then by the end of the game, you're literally suplexing enemies in a castle.
Yeah.
And you have like a shotgun that can take a man's head off from 600 meters away. So like, it's not really survival horror by the end of the game. And you're escaping an exploding building on a jet ski. Like it's
yeah.
So like I think 7 is actually a decent survival horror game, but the problem with 7 is that there's some real goofy shit in 7.
Yeah, we played it.
There's some real goofy shit in 7, and like it doesn't feel like the other Resident Evil games. And I know people will argue that Resident Evil 7 is like, or the Resident Evil has always had real goofy shit in it. Which yes, that is true. But I kind of wonder if that's more of a translation thing, because I don't think it was supposed to be goofy. I don't know. And then one of the other problems that I have with 7 is there's so little enemy variety in 7, and I don't think enemy variety isn't really a major concern of survival horror games. But like, think about the enemies that are in 7. If you don't include bosses, because bosses are their own thing.
Yeah, I can only think of maybe one enemy.
There's like 2 enemies in Resident Evil 7. There's the molded, and then there's the fat molded. And like, yeah, the molded can like get around on all fours and like crawl at you, like so they can kind of change from one into the other one. But then like, why didn't you just make a different version of molded, so then you could have had 3 enemies?
Yeah, they could have added a bit more variety there if that were their focus.
Though I guess your counterpoint to that can be, well, Resident Evil, you really only have like 3 enemies as well, because you've got like zombies. And then I'm thinking about it. Let me think. Resident Evil 2, you've got zombies, you've got lickers, you've got dogs,
hunters.
I don't think there's hunters in Resident Evil 2. There's birds in Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
There's the Ivy.
It's mostly zombies.
There's more. Okay, so there is more enemy variety.
Resident Evil 7 is a fun survival horror game, but I like the DLC, which is an action horror game, the one where you're playing as the uncle that comes back to rescue Zoe or whatever.
The DLC is so fucking goofy, and it's so much fun. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's just Bubba's Backwoods Swampland Adventure.
That's what Resident Evil doesn't need to be, but that's what I love about Resident Evil games.
It's so dumb. You get into fist fights with zombies.
I love it.
It's the dumbest shit. You put on fucking tree bark as armor. Wait, do you?
I don't remember that, but you do find a power
Oh
gauntlet.
yeah, you find a fucking power fist. Holy shit, it's so stupid, but it's so fun.
You played it?
I have played it. It's dumb as shit. I love it.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I wasn't sure what to expect going into it, but that's my favorite part about Resident Evil 7. Yeah, Resident Evil started off as a survival horror game series, and then it kind of evolved. It evolves in and out of being an action horror game. It takes bits and pieces of both. Like Resident Evil 4 was mostly action horror, but then you played as the girl, Ashley, and that section was definitely survival horror because you were disempowered.
I don't know if I would even call it survival horror, because like you really don't find healing items or anything. I mean, no, do you? I can't remember. Basically, when you play as Ashley, the goal is just don't get hit.
Yeah, that's ideal.
It turns into a hitless run, which is kind of dumb, but I like to jokingly say that Resident Evil 4 and its consequences have been a disaster for the survival horror genre.
Yeah.
I love Resident Evil 4. I really do. I think Resident Evil 4 is super good. It's super fun. I love playing that game, but it is not a survival horror game.
Mm-hmm.
And it meant that every Resident Evil that came after it was like, oh, but Resident Evil 4 though. Resident Evil 4 had such a profound effect on video games that like games that are completely unrelated to it were basically just like, how can we copy Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, Dead Space.
Like they completely changed how they were going to be making Dead Space because of Resident Evil 4. And Dead Space, I think, is actually really good because of it.
Which is weird because it's very action-oriented, but is also something that you would consider to be a survival horror game.
I would consider that to be survival horror, but the reason that one is a good survival horror game is because most of the enemies are relatively easy to kill. So you're getting swarmed with enemies, but they're very easy to get rid of.
That makes it a survival horror game?
The problem with putting video games into specific categories, it's kind of the same problem with basically anything. It's like, oh, you have this band. Well, is this band metal, or are they doom metal, or are they sludge metal, or are they black metal? Which one are they? Which genre do they fit into? And now it's you keep subdividing the genre into smaller and smaller genres.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, this game is like a FromSoft like. Okay, well, is it a Souls like, or is it a Bloodborne like? Which one is it? Which genre does it fit into? And it's like, I don't know what my point there is. While I was talking about the what of the games I think are good Resident Evil games, my wife had asked me, well, okay, well then what about Code Veronica? And I was like, Code Veronica is a good Resident Evil game, but I don't fucking like it.
Okay, why not? Just
I hate Steve.
Okay.
I think Steve is absolutely irredeemable as a character. He's fucking infuriating. I hate the Ashcroft twins. Mm-hmm. I fucking hate both of them.
Yeah, I can't dispute your hatred. Like that, it's fair, but the game itself plays like a typical Resident Evil game, a classic Resident Evil game from the times.
Yeah,
where you're just going back and forth between different buildings, finding a key to open a door to find a key to open a different door.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Resident Evil game. It fits perfectly into what a Resident Evil game is. But I fucking hate Steve so much that it ruins the game for me. I hate his dumb ass. I hate the fact that he's like trying to smooch on Claire when she's asleep, which is weird and gross. I hate the fact that he almost kills both of them because he's trying to stare at her ass while he's operating a crane, which, like, to be fair, yeah, I get it. I understand. I was a horny 19-year-old once.
Yeah. I also crashed a snow plow into a wall and released a bunch of toxic gas. Haven't we all?
No, I mean, I didn't do that, but I would have been staring at her ass too.
Yeah, not everything from that game holds up very well.
They really did think you were gonna feel bad for Steve, and I fucking don't. So,
yeah, I guess the simple answer to what makes a good survival horror game, what makes a game a survival horror game in general, is just disempowerment. And you get that a lot from the classic Resident Evil games. You're low on ammo. You're balancing resources like health. You don't always know if you're going to be able to make it to the next area. And then the action horror games are just more action oriented. Sometimes sometimes the level design is a lot more linear, which just keeps the flow of the game going. Mm-hmm. Resident Evil likes to dabble in both of those genres. Would you say the Resident Evil remakes 2, 3, and 4 and whatnot, they're more action-oriented, of course. Would you say they're still survival horror games, or...?
I would say the Resident Evil 2 remake is still a survival horror game, because it does, again, limited ammo, exploration, going to get keys, backtracking to use the key somewhere, and then going back somewhere else. Resident Evil 2 remake is still survival horror. Resident Evil 3 remake is still survival horror. It's not great.
Yeah.
Because it's so short.
Yeah, it sounds like they really skimped out on the resources when they were making that one.
Yeah, I have heard that it was supposed to just be DLC for Resident Evil 2, but then they had put enough time and effort into it. They were like, well, we should just make an entire game. But, like, you're charging too much money for it. It is basically just a large DLC.
Yeah.
So, like,
Disappointing.
it's not long enough.
Yeah.
And then 4 Remake it's kind of the same thing, where it starts out as survival horror, but then it isn't.
So even though they are more action-oriented, you would still say the second one, at least, is still survival horror?
The second one is. I would still say the third one is. It's just the third one isn't very long.
Okay.
That's kind of the problem of the third one. They took so much stuff out of what was originally in Resident Evil 3. Mm-hmm. They made it so much shorter.
Do you still feel disempowered when playing Resident Evil 2's remake?
If I start a completely new game and I don't have any mods installed, then yeah. But like, also, I've kind of played it enough at this point that it's like I know what to expect. So
Yeah.
But then like 5, I don't consider 5 to be survival horror at all.
No, it's not. I mean, to be a survival horror game, you have to, at the very least, you have to elicit fears of being terrified, overpowered, or overwhelmed. And when you have a friend, you just can't be scared. Resident Evil 5 can't really scare you nearly as much because you're just going through it with a friend, laughing and joking.
I mean, even if you play it single player, it's not. It's just more action adventure.
If you're playing through it single player, then you're spending the entire time yelling at Sheva.
Yeah, it's just more action adventure. And then Resident Evil 6 doesn't exist.
Not that you can't be scared with Resident Evil 5. It's just less likely. I have had times where I've just been like smashed out of nowhere. Some guy with a hammer snuck up on me and crushed my head in and caused me to scream. And but yeah,
I've never been scared by Resident Evil 5. It's
unlikely. Not even with Porta Potty Zombie.
No.
It's no. Of course not.
It's just an action adventure game.
It's just an action adventure game. I'm going to go back to Resident Evil 4 for a second. I know we were talking about it being an action adventure game, and yes, that's where the series did start to become more action adventure. But I will say that game is still very scary, and it's still in a lot of ways survival horror, because the regenerators alone make the latter parts of the game just incredibly unsettling, and they are draining your resources if you don't know how to deal with them, and it can be very terrifying. Even if you don't agree with me, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, because I found it to be quite scary, and I found it to be survival horror.
I mean, if you have the I'm trying to think about how many regenerators you're forced to fight before you get the thermal scope.
The thermal scope,
I think it's 2.
The thermal scope is optional, and you might not even find it if you're not playing it properly, which I don't know if I was the first time I played through it.
I think it's 2 before you find the thermal scope.
You gotta find 2 or 3.
Which also, if you've upgraded the revolver by that point, you can just kind of blast them like 5 or 6 times, and then they're dead, and you don't have to worry about them anymore.
Sure.
Also, I discovered that if you in the remake, if you just attack them with the knife, just keep like swiping at them with the knife, you will eventually hit the little plaga inside them. So you can kind of just brute force your way past them by just hitting them with the knife repeatedly.
Well, maybe that's why our opinions differ, because when I played through the game, I definitely remember that I didn't attack it with a knife because I wasn't sure what I needed to do to take him down. All I knew is that there was an enemy that kept on regenerating and I couldn't take down, and I don't remember if I ever found the thermal scope the first time I played through the game, so it was very, very terrifying.
It's difficult for me to say that games are ever terrifying because I don't scare easily. I get startled easily, which is why I don't play jump scare games, because I think they're stupid. They don't actually scare me. They just jump scare me occasionally, and I'm just like, great, now I'm just fucking mad because you keep going "Ah!" at me. And it's like, yeah, of course I'm getting... It's like the scene from Smiling Friends where the dude's like,
Yep.
Dude, if you do that again, I'm going to punch you in the fucking throat, or whatever he says.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he does it again, and that's how I feel about those kind of games. Only I can't actually punch them because it's a game.
You can,
but then you just punched your monitor, and now I'm out of monitor.
Yeah, I was playing Five Nights at Freddy's 4 one time many years ago, and the first time I got jump scared, I nearly punched my monitor. Yeah. You can fight back, but then you gotta go buy a new monitor.
So it's difficult for me to be like, oh yeah, these games are totally scary, because I don't scare easily. The scariest games that I have played in recent memory are the game Routine, which was, God, that game is terrifying. I love it. It's great. And Routine and the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Okay.
are probably the two scariest games that I have played in the last like decade. Yeah, you know, and I'll go in the last like 15 years. So it's difficult for me to be like, oh yeah, this is scary. Like this bit in Resident Evil 4 is scary because the whole game itself to me isn't scary. There's points where it's like, well, I'm gonna die, but like, I mean, it's a video game, so whatever. I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.